The strongest whispers often come from those who need no validation. Hello, my Sigma ladies. Welcome back to another transformative journey here at the Sigma Lady, where we explore the beauty, power, and mystique of the Sigma female. Today, we're delving into the quiet truths men think about us, thoughts they keep locked away, thoughts they would never say out loud. We know our strength is in our mystery, in our ability to balance independence and connection, ambition and subtlety. But have you ever wondered what men really think when they encounter a Sigma female? Let's uncover these hidden thoughts and shine a light on the unspoken impact we have. Before we dive in, remember to subscribe to the Sigma Lady and join this community of powerful, independent women redefining the rules on our terms. Let's keep building, growing, and owning who we are. Now, let's begin. When men encounter a Sigma female, one of the first things that strikes them is how effortlessly confident she is in her decisions. It's not the kind of confidence that demands attention or seeks applause. No, this confidence is quiet, rooted in self-awareness and an unwavering sense of purpose. It's the kind of confidence that turns heads, not because she's trying to, but because it's so rare in a world where self-doubt and insecurity often take center stage. What sets this confidence apart is its authenticity. It's not about proving anything to anyone, it's about staying true to her values and goals. Men find this quality magnetic because it's so different from the performative confidence they often encounter. There's no posturing, no need for validation, just a deep sense of inner peace and certainty. This makes her presence both calming and inspiring, a combination that men don't often experience. But this confidence also challenges men in ways they might not expect. In her presence, they become acutely aware of their own insecurities and how often they seek approval from others. It's not that she points this out or even intends to, it's simply a byproduct of her self-assured nature. She doesn't need anyone's permission to be herself, and that forces them to question why they do. This isn't to say her confidence makes her unapproachable. On the contrary, it makes her more intriguing. Men want to understand how she trusts herself so completely, how she's able to navigate life with such clarity and purpose. They may never ask these questions out loud, but they think about them. And in thinking about her, they often find themselves reflecting on their own lives in ways they never have before. For some men, this reflection is uncomfortable. They might feel intimidated by her strength, unsure of how to connect with someone who seems so self-reliant. But for others, it's a source of inspiration. They see in her a blueprint for living authentically, and they're drawn to her because they want to learn from her example. What makes this confidence even more impactful is that it's not static. The Sigma female is always growing, always learning, always evolving. Her confidence isn't about knowing all the answers. It's about trusting herself to figure them out as she goes. This dynamic approach to life is something men admire deeply, even if they don't fully understand it. Another thought men often have about Sigma females is how inspiring their emotional intelligence is. Unlike many who let their emotions control their actions, the Sigma female has a remarkable ability to understand, process, and navigate her feelings with grace and composure. This doesn't mean she's emotionless or detached, far from it. She feels deeply, but she also knows how to channel those feelings in productive and meaningful ways. This emotional intelligence manifests in everything she does. Whether she's handling a difficult conversation, resolving a conflict, or simply listening to someone share their struggles, her ability to remain calm and empathetic stands out. Men quickly notice this about her, and it leaves a lasting impression. They're used to seeing people react impulsively or let their emotions spiral out of control, so her ability to stay grounded is a breath of fresh air. Her emotional intelligence doesn't just make her composed, It also makes her deeply intuitive. Men are often surprised by how easily she seems to understand their thoughts, feelings, and motivations without them having to say much at all. She pays attention to the subtleties, the tone of someone's voice, the way they hold themselves, the hesitation in their words, and uses this insight to respond thoughtfully. It's a quality that not only impresses men, but also makes them feel truly seen and understood, often for the first time. At the same time, her emotional intelligence is not something she uses for manipulation. She could if she wanted to, given how easily she reads people, but she chooses not to. Instead, she operates with integrity, using her understanding of emotions to build meaningful connections and diffuse tension when it arises. This level of intentionality is rare, and men are quietly in awe of it. Her emotional intelligence also creates a sense of safety for those around her. Men realize that they can be vulnerable with her, without fear of judgment or ridicule. She doesn't weaponize people's emotions against them, nor does she dismiss their feelings. Instead, she creates an environment where they feel comfortable being honest and open. This is something men deeply appreciate, even if they can't quite put it into words. What's perhaps most inspiring about her emotional intelligence is how she applies it to herself. The Sigma female isn't just empathetic toward others, she's also deeply self-aware. She understands her own emotions, recognizes her triggers, and takes the time to process her feelings before acting on them. Men notice this and can't help but admire her emotional maturity. It's a level of self-mastery that they rarely encounter, and it sets her apart in a significant way. For men who lack this level of emotional intelligence, being around a Sigma female can feel like a wake-up call. They realize how much they have to learn about managing their own emotions and communicating effectively. This can be uncomfortable, but it's also incredibly motivating. The Sigma female becomes a silent teacher, showing them what's possible when emotional intelligence is prioritized. In the end, her emotional intelligence isn't just a skill, it's a way of being. It shapes every interaction she has and leaves a lasting impact on those who cross her path. Men may not always articulate their admiration for this quality, but it lingers in their minds long after they've met her. She sets a standard for emotional awareness that is both inspiring and challenging, and it's one of the many reasons she leaves such a profound impression on them. Another thought men often have about the Sigma female, though they rarely voice it, is how her sense of purpose changes the way they view ambition. The Sigma female doesn't just exist, she thrives with intention. Every step she takes, every decision she makes, is driven by a clear vision for her life. Men quickly notice this about her, and it sparks both admiration and curiosity. Her sense of purpose is palpable. She's not someone who waits for opportunities to come her way. She creates them. Whether she's pursuing a career, developing her passions, or building a life that aligns with her values, she does so with unwavering focus. This level of determination is magnetic, and men find themselves drawn to it, even if they don't fully understand it. What sets her ambition apart is that it's not rooted in ego or external validation. She's not chasing success to impress others or prove her worth. Instead, her drive comes from within, a desire to live authentically, to make the most of her potential, and to contribute meaningfully to the world around her. This intrinsic motivation is rare, and it challenges men to think about their own ambitions in a new light. For some men, being around a Sigma female forces them to confront their lack of direction or commitment. They might feel inadequate in comparison to her clarity and drive, but this isn't her intention. She's not trying to outshine anyone, she's simply following her own path. However, her example often serves as a reminder that they too have the potential to live with purpose. It's just a matter of finding the courage to do so. Her purpose-driven mindset also changes the way men view relationships. They realize that being with a Sigma female means aligning with her values and goals, not trying to change or control her. She's not looking for someone to complete her or give her a sense of direction. She already has that. What she seeks is a partnership based on mutual respect, shared vision, and personal growth. Men may find this dynamic refreshing or intimidating, depending on their perspective. For those who are secure in themselves, her sense of purpose is inspiring. It pushes them to step up and match her energy. But for those who rely on traditional power dynamics or seek validation through control, her independence can feel threatening. Regardless, her presence leaves a lasting impression, challenging men to think more deeply about their own lives and relationships. Ultimately, the Sigma female's sense of purpose is one of her most defining traits. It's not just about achieving goals, it's about living intentionally and authentically. Men may not always understand the depth of her drive, but they can't help but respect it. Her commitment to living a purposeful life sets a standard that few can ignore, and it's one of the many reasons she leaves such a profound impact on those around her. Men are often struck by how the Sigma female commands respect without seeking it. In a world where many strive for attention or validation, she stands apart simply by being herself. This respect doesn't come from loudness or displays of dominance. It comes from the quiet, confident way she carries herself. She doesn't demand respect. She naturally inspires it, and men find this both intriguing and humbling. Her presence is enough to shift the energy in a room. Men quickly notice how others respond to her, often without her saying a word. It's not about physical appearance or charm. It's about the way she exudes self-assurance and authenticity. She knows who she is, what she stands for, and what she brings to the table. This unshakable sense of self creates a magnetic aura that commands attention without effort. What makes this respect so unique is that it's built on substance, not show. Men often encounter people who seek respect through external means, titles, wealth, or social status. But the Sigma female doesn't rely on any of these things. Her respectability comes from her character, her values, and her unwavering commitment to living authentically. Men may not articulate this, but they feel it deeply. This quiet authority challenges traditional ideas of power and dominance. Men are often conditioned to associate respect with control or strength. But the Sigma female redefines this narrative. She shows that true power comes from self-mastery, integrity, and the ability to inspire others without forcing them to follow. For men who are open to learning, this is a revelation. It forces them to reconsider what it means to be respected and how they can cultivate this quality in their own lives. At the same time, her ability to command respect without effort can be intimidating. Men who rely on external validation or dominance to feel significant might feel overshadowed in her presence. This isn't because she diminishes anyone, it's because she holds up a mirror to their insecurities. Her authenticity forces them to confront the ways in which they've been seeking approval rather than earning respect through genuine character and action. Her approach to respect is also deeply inclusive. She doesn't look down on others or seek to elevate herself at their expense. Instead, she treats everyone with dignity and kindness, showing that respect is something that's earned through how you treat others. Men notice this and are often inspired to emulate her behavior, even if they don't admit it outright. In the end, her ability to command respect without seeking it leaves a lasting impression. Men may not always understand how she does it, but they recognize its power. She shows them that respect isn't about control or status. It's about being true to yourself and treating others with the same authenticity. It's a lesson they carry with them long after their paths cross with hers. One of the most intriguing thoughts men have about the Sigma female is how she challenges their perceptions of connection. She isn't someone who seeks validation through constant interaction or shallow relationships. Instead, she values quality over quantity, prioritizing deep, meaningful connections over superficial ones. This approach to relationships is something men notice right away, even if they don't fully understand it. Unlike people who fear solitude, the Sigma female thrives in her own company. She doesn't need others to complete her or validate her worth. This self-sufficiency is both inspiring and perplexing to men who are used to being the center of attention or the provider in relationships. They find themselves wondering, where do I fit into her world? It's a question that forces them to reevaluate their role in relationships and their own sense of self-worth. Her independence doesn't mean she's closed off or unapproachable. On the contrary, she values connection deeply, but only when it aligns with her values and vision. Men quickly realize that being part of her life isn't about filling a void or playing a role. It's about complementing her journey. She seeks relationships that are built on mutual respect, trust, and growth, and this challenges men to step up in ways they may not have considered before. This dynamic is refreshing for men who are tired of superficial connections. They find her approach to relationships liberating, as it removes the pressure to conform to traditional roles or expectations. Instead, they feel invited to bring their authentic selves to the table, knowing that she values substance over appearances. This level of authenticity is rare, and it leaves a lasting impression. At the same time, her independence can be intimidating for men who are used to being needed. The Sigma female doesn't rely on anyone for her happiness or success, and this can leave them feeling uncertain about their place in her life. However, for those who are secure in themselves, her independence becomes an inspiration. It challenges them to cultivate their own sense of self-reliance and to approach relationships from a place of strength rather than neediness. What's most striking about her approach to connection is how intentional it is. She doesn't let people into her life lightly. Men realize that earning her trust and affection requires more than charm or superficial gestures. It requires genuine effort and alignment with her values. This exclusivity makes her relationships all the more meaningful, and it's one of the reasons why men hold her in such high regard. In the end, the Sigma female's approach to connection isn't just about relationships. It's a reflection of her entire way of life. She values depth, authenticity, and alignment, and this sets a standard that few can match. Men may never openly admit how much this challenges and inspires them, but it's a truth they carry with them long after they've met her. Men often find themselves intrigued by the balance the Sigma female strikes between mystery and openness. She isn't someone who overshares or lays all her cards on the table. Instead, she reveals herself gradually, layer by layer, creating an air of intrigue that men can't help but be drawn to. But this mystery isn't an act. It's a natural extension of her depth and self-awareness. She doesn't feel the need to explain herself to everyone, nor does she seek approval by making herself overly accessible. This enigmatic quality often leaves men curious, wondering what lies beneath the surface. They might notice the way she deflects small talk in favor of meaningful conversation, or the way she listens more than she speaks. It's not that she's hiding anything, it's that she understands the value of privacy and the power of keeping certain parts of herself sacred. In a world where oversharing has become the norm, this restraint is both rare and refreshing. What's even more compelling is that her mystery doesn't make her cold or detached. Men quickly realize that while she may be selective about what she shares, she is fully present and engaged in her interactions. Her focus and attention make people feel valued, and this paradox of being both reserved and deeply connected is something men admire, even if they don't fully understand it. This balance between mystery and openness also sets a higher standard for communication. Men find themselves wanting to dig deeper to earn her trust and uncover the layers of her personality. They realize that connecting with her requires patience, effort, and authenticity, qualities that challenge them to move beyond superficial interactions. At the same time, her mysterious nature forces men to confront their own insecurities. Many are accustomed to reading people easily or gaining quick access to their thoughts and emotions. But with the Sigma female, they must learn to sit with uncertainty and appreciate the process of getting to know her. This can be both challenging and transformative, as it pushes them to rethink their approach to relationships and connection. Her ability to maintain this balance also stems from her self-respect. She knows her worth and doesn't feel the need to prove it to anyone. This quiet confidence allows her to be selective about who she lets into her world, and men quickly realize that being part of her life is a privilege, not a given. For those who are willing to put in the effort, the reward is a relationship that is rich, meaningful, and unlike anything they've experienced before. Ultimately, the Sigma female's balance of mystery and openness leaves a lasting impression. Men may not always articulate it, but they are deeply affected by her ability to remain authentic while keeping parts of herself private. She sets an example of how to navigate relationships with intention and grace, and this is a lesson they carry with them long after their interactions with her. And so, my Sigma ladies, we come to the end of another exploration into the quiet power and profound impact of the Sigma female. Men may never openly admit these thoughts, but deep down they know that encountering a Sigma female is unlike anything else. You inspire reflection, challenge their perspectives, and set a standard that pushes them to grow, not because you demand it, but because your very presence calls them to rise. Remember, being a Sigma female isn't about fitting into a mold, it's about breaking free from one. You carry a quiet strength, a magnetic mystery, and an unwavering sense of self that leaves a mark on everyone you meet. Never forget the power you hold simply by being authentically you. If today's journey resonated with you, don't keep this wisdom to yourself. Subscribe to the Sigma Lady and join a community of women who are rewriting the rules, one step at a time. Together we'll continue to grow, challenge, and inspire. Until next time, stay bold, stay brilliant, and keep shining in your own unique way. Remember, the world may not always understand you, but that's exactly where your power lies. See you soon, my Sigma ladies.